It usually starts as privacy until you realize you are the only thing they are being private about. They mention dinner plans, and you realize you were never considered. They talk about their weekend, and you realize everyone else has a place in their life except you. They post something, and there is no trace of you. They tell a story about people who know them casually, and you realize those people have more visible access to their life than you do. You are not completely rejected. You are not completely gone. You are not completely outside the connection. But you are hidden. Hidden from the photos. Hidden from the plans. Hidden from the people who matter. Hidden from the version of the relationship that would make you feel chosen in daylight. And the painful part is that it often does not start as secrecy. It starts as privacy. It starts as they are just private. It starts as they move slowly. It starts as maybe they need time. It starts as maybe they do not post anyone. It starts as maybe I should not make this about me. Until one day, your body stops accepting the story and notices the pattern. You are close in private, but hidden in life. That is the moment anxious attachment starts to ache in a different way. Because now the question is not only, do they care about me? The question is, why does their care have to stay invisible? Why do I only exist in the private version of their life? Why do I feel like something they want emotionally, but do not want seen structurally? That realization can feel humiliating. Not because you are humiliating, but because being hidden makes the nervous system feel like love has become a place you are allowed to enter only when no one else can see the door. This is why the realization has so much power. It is not just a thought. It is your body finally naming the split. In private, you may feel wanted. In life, you feel absent. In private, there may be warmth. In life, there is no footprint. In private, you may feel chosen. In life, you are still guessing where you stand. That split makes the anxious system work overtime because it keeps trying to bring the private version and the public structure together. It keeps trying to make the intimacy mean inclusion. It keeps trying to make the softness mean safety. But softness without visibility can still leave the body in pain. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for psychology, relationships, and avoidant and anxious attachment patterns, so you stop guessing. Now, let us break this pattern down clearly. There are usually 3 walls in this pattern. The first is the social wall. You are not introduced, not named, not included in simple social spaces where someone close would normally exist. The second is the future wall. You can talk about feelings, but not next steps. You can have intimacy, but not shared direction. The third is the identity wall. In private, they may act attached. In the world, they may still move as if they are alone. These walls are not always obvious at first. They appear slowly through omissions, delays, vague language, and moments where your body notices that you are being kept separate. Being hidden is not the same as someone having privacy. Privacy is normal. Privacy can be healthy. Privacy means 2 people do not have to perform the relationship for the world. But being hidden is different. Being hidden means the relationship is kept in a separate compartment, so it does not have to touch the rest of life. Privacy protects the bond. Hiding protects the person from the consequences of having the bond. Privacy says, "This is ours." Hiding says, "You can exist here, but not there." Privacy says, "We do not need everyone inside this." Hiding says, "I do not want people to know where you fit." And for the anxious nervous system, that difference becomes painful, because the body can feel the gap before the mind can explain it. You may not have words yet. You may just feel strange. You may feel uneasy when they talk about plans that never include you. You may feel a drop in your stomach when they avoid mentioning you. You may feel embarrassed for wanting to be acknowledged. You may feel guilty for caring about something as simple as being included in a photo, a plan, a conversation, or a weekend. But your body is not reacting to nothing. It is reacting to the pattern of existing in private while disappearing in structure. That is the first phase of the hidden relationship pattern, the privacy phase. In this phase, the hiding does not feel like hiding yet. It feels intimate. It feels protected. It may even feel special. They may say, "I am not public with my life. I do not like people in my business. I do not post relationships. I move slowly. I am private. I do not introduce people until I am sure." And if you have anxious attachment, you may hear that and try to be the safe person. You may think, "I will not pressure them. I will not make them uncomfortable. I will respect their pace. I will show them that I am different. I will prove that closeness with me does not have to feel demanding." At first, this can feel mature. You feel patient. You feel understanding. You feel like the private connection is deeper because it is not being shown to everyone. And sometimes, privacy really is harmless. Some people genuinely do not post much. Some people move slowly in a healthy way. Some people protect a new bond before exposing it to outside noise. But the difference is that healthy privacy still moves toward clarity. Healthy privacy still has warmth, consistency, and direction. Healthy privacy does not make you feel erased. Healthy privacy does not make you wonder if you are a secret. Healthy privacy does not make you smaller over time. In the privacy phase, your mind protects the story. You tell yourself, "They are just careful. They are not ready yet. This is still new. They are healing. They do not like pressure. They are not like everyone else." But while your mind protects the story, your body starts collecting evidence. The first exclusion. The first time they avoid saying your name. The first time they talk about a future that has no place for you. The first time you realize you know their private wounds, but their friends do not even know you exist. The first time the intimacy feels real, but your place in their life feels imaginary. That is when the pattern starts shifting into the second phase, the compartment phase. In the compartment phase, you begin to realize that you have a room in their inner world, but not a place in their actual life. You may be the person they open up to, the person they text when they are lonely, the person they come to when they want comfort, softness, desire, understanding, or emotional relief. You may know their fears, their childhood stories, their wounds, their private thoughts, their hidden needs. And because of that, you feel close. But then you notice something painful. The closeness does not travel. It does not move into plans. It does not move into public identity. It does not move into family, friends, holidays, normal routines, or future decisions. You exist in a compartment, not because there is no connection, but because the connection is kept away from the places where it would have to become real. That is why it hurts so much. If you meant nothing, maybe it would make sense. But you do mean something. You can feel that. And that is exactly why the hiding becomes confusing. They may be emotionally present in one room and structurally absent in every other room. They may make you feel chosen for an hour and invisible for a week. They may give you depth without visibility. They may give you access without integration. They may give you tenderness without a place. And anxious attachment will often try to solve this by becoming more worthy of being included. You start asking yourself, what do I need to be so they finally bring me in? More patient? Less needy? More secure? More understanding? More quiet? More impressive? More easy to love? You start treating your hiddenness like a test of your value. But being hidden is not a test you are supposed to pass. It is a pattern you are supposed to see. That is the turning point. Because the anxious mind wants to believe that if you become safe enough, they will stop hiding you. But sometimes the issue is not that you are unsafe. Sometimes the issue is that integration itself feels unsafe to them. Making you visible would mean the connection has a shape. It would mean other people might know. It would mean there are questions, expectations, accountability, and consequences. It would mean they cannot keep the bond as a private emotional compartment that comforts them without changing their life. So they may keep you hidden not because you are not enough, but because being seen with you would force the relationship to become something they cannot control as easily. That does not make it okay. It just explains the mechanism. And when you understand the mechanism, you stop making your worth the center of the problem. The third phase is the realization phase. This is where the small moments start adding up. It may happen when they do not invite you somewhere casual, not a huge event, not a major family holiday, just something simple where inclusion would have been normal. It may happen when someone asks about their life and they speak as if you do not exist. It may happen when they post around you, but never with you. It may happen when they tell you how much you matter, then keep you unnamed in every public part of their world. It may happen when they say they are private, but you realize they are not private about everything. They talk about work, they post friends, they show hobbies, they share places, they make plans. Their life is not invisible. You are. That is the sentence that hurts. Their life is not invisible. You are. And once your body realizes that, something changes. The old explanations stop working the same way. The story starts cracking. You start seeing that privacy was not the whole truth. You start seeing that time was not the whole truth. You start seeing that slow was not the whole truth. You start seeing that you have been asked to respect a boundary that keeps becoming your disappearance. This is where anxiety can spike. Because when the story breaks, your attachment system may panic. It may say, do not look too closely. Do not ask. Do not ruin it. Do not make them feel pressured. Do not become the needy one. Do not lose the private closeness you still have. So you may silence yourself. You may minimize the pain. You may convince yourself that wanting visibility is shallow. You may say, I should not care about being posted. I should not care about meeting people. I should not care about labels. I should not care about plans. But this is not about performance. This is not about needing a relationship to be announced to the world for validation. This is about whether the relationship exists only where it costs them nothing. That is a very different thing. You are not asking to be displayed. You are asking not to be erased. You are not asking for a performance. You are asking for your existence to be allowed into the life of someone who says you matter. That is not too much. That is a basic part of relational safety. The fourth phase is the self-doubt phase. This is where being hidden starts turning inward. Instead of only asking why they hide me, you start asking, what is wrong with me that I am hidden? And that is where the damage gets deeper. Hidden relationships can quietly attack self-worth because they make you feel like you are good enough for intimacy, but not good enough for inclusion. Good enough for late nights, but not daylight. Good enough for secrets, but not plans. Good enough for private emotional access, but not public reality. And if your anxious attachment already carries fear of not being chosen, this pattern will press directly on that wound. It will make you overfunction. It will make you try to earn visibility. It will make you accept less while hoping it becomes more. It will make you grateful for private closeness, even when public absence is hurting you. This is how the hidden pattern trains you to abandon yourself slowly. You start hiding your own needs to stay inside a connection where you are already hidden. You do not ask because you do not want to pressure them. You do not name the pain because you do not want to seem insecure. You do not say, "This hurts," because you are afraid they will pull away. You become loyal to a relationship that is not fully loyal to your visibility. And the shame grows in silence. The pain is not just that they hide you. The pain is that you start hiding your hurt about being hidden. You start acting okay with something your body is not okay with. You start calling it maturity when it is really self-erasure. You start calling it patience when it is really waiting to be claimed by someone who benefits from keeping you unclaimed. This is why hidden dynamics are so dangerous for anxious attachment. They make you confuse endurance with love. They make you believe that if you can tolerate invisibility long enough, you will eventually be rewarded with inclusion. But love is not supposed to require you to disappear first. Love is not supposed to make you audition for a place in someone's life. Love is not supposed to give you intimacy in private and shame in public. The fifth phase is the pattern recognition phase. This is where you stop focusing on one incident and start looking at the whole design. Not just the one photo, not just the one dinner, not just the one weekend, not just the one introduction that did not happen. The pattern. Are you consistently left out of plans that would naturally include someone important? Are you kept away from the people who know their real life? Are you only contacted in private windows? Are you spoken about vaguely or not at all? Are you expected to understand their privacy while they do not understand your pain? Are you kept close emotionally but separate socially? Are you given explanations instead of integration? Are you made to feel guilty for wanting a place? And this is where you have to be very honest with yourself. The wound is not only that they did not post you, or invite you, or mention you. The wound is that the pattern made you feel like your presence had to be edited out of their life. That is different. That touches dignity. That touches worth. That touches the part of you that wants to be loved without being concealed. That is the pattern. And once you see the pattern, the question changes. It is no longer, why did this one moment hurt me so much? It becomes, Why does this relationship keep placing me where I am close enough to attach, but hidden enough to doubt myself? That question is powerful because it moves you out of self-blame and into clarity. You stop trying to decode every small exclusion and start measuring the structure. The structure says more than the explanation. The explanation may say, "I am private." The structure may say, "You are compartmentalized." The explanation may say, "I do not like pressure." The structure may say, "Your needs are treated like a threat." The explanation may say, "It is complicated." The structure may say, "You are being kept in a place where nothing has to change." The explanation may say, "I care." The structure may say, "I care in private, but I do not include you in life." That is the difference that matters. Because a person can care and still hide you. A person can miss you and still keep you invisible. A person can feel attached to you and still avoid the responsibility of making you visible. That is the part anxious attachment has to understand. Feelings do not automatically create safety. Private love does not automatically become public care. Emotional intensity does not automatically become integration. And your job is not to survive invisibility until someone becomes ready to acknowledge you. Your job is to notice whether the relationship is asking you to become smaller in order to stay connected. The sixth phase is the cost phase. This is where the hidden relationship begins to change how you feel about yourself. You may become more anxious, more watchful, more sensitive to signs, more easily hurt by things other people might not understand. You may feel embarrassed for wanting normal inclusion. You may feel jealous of people who are casually present in their life. You may feel ashamed that you know so much about someone who keeps you so invisible. You may feel like you are carrying a relationship alone because the outside world cannot even reflect it back to you. And that matters. Relationships need some kind of reality outside the private emotional bubble. Not because everyone needs to know everything, not because social media defines love, not because public performance equals commitment, but because being completely hidden can make your nervous system feel like the relationship has no ground, no witness, no structure, no place. It becomes something you are constantly holding in your own body. You have to remember it, defend it, explain it to yourself, justify it, protect it, hope for it. And that is exhausting. Visibility does not mean spectacle. It means the relationship is allowed to exist. It means you are not treated like a disruption to the image they want to maintain. It means your presence is not always negotiated, minimized, hidden, or delayed. A healthy relationship can be private without making you feel invisible. A healthy relationship can move slowly without making you feel erased. A healthy relationship can protect intimacy without making you feel like a secret. That is the line your body feels. Privacy does not make you disappear. Hiding does. Privacy has dignity. Hiding creates shame. Privacy feels chosen. Hiding feels like being kept separate so the other person does not have to face what choosing you would require. The final phase is the exit phase. This does not always mean you immediately leave. It means you stop participating in the story that makes your invisibility feel acceptable. You stop saying, "Maybe this is normal," when your body keeps telling you it hurts. You stop treating your need for visibility as insecurity. You stop asking, "How do I become good enough to be included?" And you start asking, Why am I staying somewhere I have to earn the right to exist? That is the shift. The exit begins when you stop waiting to be claimed and start claiming your own visibility. You say, I do not need to be displayed, but I do need to be acknowledged. I do not need everything to move fast, but I do need the relationship to move somewhere. I do not need to be in every part of your life, but I cannot stay in a compartment where I am only real in private. I do not need to punish you for your fear, but I also will not disappear to make your fear comfortable. That is not neediness. That is self-respect. And self-respect may feel terrifying when your attachment system is used to surviving on access. You may fear that if you name the hiding, they will pull away. You may fear that if you stop accepting the compartment, you will lose the connection entirely. But you have to ask yourself, what connection am I preserving if preserving it requires me to be invisible? What am I protecting if I keep protecting a version of love that makes me feel hidden? What am I calling patience if it keeps costing me my dignity? These are hard questions, but they are the questions that bring your body back to itself. Because the moment you realize you are hidden is not only the moment of pain, it can also be the moment of return. The moment you stop explaining away your own erasure. The moment you stop calling invisibility privacy. The moment you stop proving you are low maintenance enough to be loved. The moment you stop accepting private closeness as a substitute for real inclusion. The moment you realize that being hidden is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of the structure you are being asked to live inside. The final truth is this now. If someone keeps you close in private but hidden in life, the pain you feel is not dramatic. It is information. Your nervous system knows the difference between intimacy and inclusion. It knows the difference between being wanted and being acknowledged. It knows the difference between being emotionally accessed and being genuinely integrated. You are not asking for too much by wanting to exist in the life of someone who says you matter. You are not insecure for noticing that secrecy hurts. You are not shallow for wanting the relationship to have a shape outside private moments. And you are not wrong for feeling the ache of being loved in a way that keeps you unseen. The moment you realize you are hidden may hurt, but it also gives you clarity. It shows you where the relationship really lives. It shows you what you have been accepting. It shows you what your body has been trying to tell you. Close in private is not enough if it keeps you hidden in life. Love that requires your invisibility is not safety. And if someone needs you to stay unseen in order to keep you close, you are allowed to choose visibility over access. If this helped your body feel a little safer, liking this video helps it reach someone else who needs this clarity. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.